BS Show, Season 4, Episode 6. Sean Gankars with Justin Chasmar and Adam Tynan, as always. And, well, boys, we got one more September game Thursday night. But just like that, September's done and October football coming right around the corner from us end of this week to cap off week 4 for us. We had our first winning picks in locks. Adam, you were in the one slot. You went 0-3, but hey, as a team, we saw a winning week. Maybe that's what we need. What are we going to have to do to turn things around here?
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's on me, boys, obviously. Happy you guys had a winning week and a good week. Not to mention, gang, I can't even really get on the Giants because the Bears looked just as bad. So that's when you know it's kind of a sad week for me. But we're doing all right in fantasy, 3-0 against you, so we'll take that.
Hey, winning week, it's a start. Like we said, we usually start out slow and get hotter as the season progresses. So, like we said, it's a team. AT going 0-3. We know we'll bounce back here this week. So I think we just had to see one.
Yeah, it's all it takes. We do have a inter-show fantasy matchup this week between you two. I'm going to let both of you get a quick word in on that. Why are you going to win?
Like I said pre-show, I think Derrick Henry's going to have 50 carries, and I think that's going to be reason. So I'm hoping for another 40 spot from him.
Fair reasoning.
AT's got his running back against the one New York team at MetLife. I got my running back against the other New York team at home in New Orleans. So it'll be a good showdown between Kamara and Derrick Henry.
Hell yeah.
That actually is a very entertaining showdown. I keep an eye on going into the week. Maybe talked about in the power rankings released tomorrow. We'll see, because we know you two are two of the top 3 teams likely coming out in these rankings tomorrow for sure. Adam, you're 2-1, right, Adam?
2-1, yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay, so more than likely, definitely 2 of the top 3 teams in the league. With that said, let's get into this week. Chaz Gonzo, not liking the move to New Jersey so much. Sounds like he is off to his worst start, and let's get easier. And I'm not even going to bash Gonzo for this one, because anybody that has a pick in this game with solid reason, I'll be impressed. But NFL giving us their typical Thursday night thriller. Jacksonville traveling to Cincy here, Cincy -7.5, over under 46. Which the side Gonzo's going with?
Yeah, the move to Jersey hasn't started off great. And like you said, this game is not one that thrills too many of us NFL fans. But he's going to try to get his first win of the season, and he's going to do it with an 0-3 team. He is taking the Jags plus 7.5 here against the Bengals. Obviously, the Bengals looked good last week, got a win against Pittsburgh to improve to 2-1, the first number 1 team in the AFC North right now. And the Jags, I mean, have given us nothing to really think that they're going to be anywhat of relevance this year. But other than that punt return last week at the end of the half, which was just madness.
Electric.
But
Good stuff.
I mean, 7.5, I mean, it is a big number. The Bengals, they're a good team. But like we said in the beginning of the year, we don't think they're great. They're good. At home here, I expect them to get the win, but I'm going to back Gonzo here. I can't see him going 0-3, so I'll take Trevor Lawrence and the Jags play a little better, keep the game close. I'll take the Bengals to win 24-21.
I kind of looked at this game and I was like, I think I'm just going to go with Gonzo here because the Bengals seem like a team that will keep games close all year, whether they win or lose. They've played a bunch of close games, the first 3. And I think that Trevor Lawrence has a little success. This Bengals defense has looked pretty good, but I mean, you watched Big Ben play last week. I don't know who he was throwing to. The guy could barely walk. So I'm not too much of a believer in their defense just yet. I think Trevor Lawrence has a little bit of success here. Both young QBs play pretty well. And I think the hook is really the deciding factor for this game. Like Gank said, another Thursday night thriller. This is like back in the old days when it was AFC South matchups, like every week somehow. I'm gonna take Bengals to win. Jags cover 27-20.
Yeah, I forget who plays next Thursday. I remember looking ahead after this one, though. I do think it is something good. But with that said, Adam, you kind of said it too. Like, feels like a Rye Gonzo game. I kind of had an argument for both teams here, depending on which way he went. So I'll take him. I'll take him with the Jags plus 7.5. Though my argument for the Bengals was we talked about them a lot, especially right before the season started, our couple preseason shows and everything, saying how this team is maybe not there yet, could be up and coming, but no, they're quietly got a couple of wins to start the season. They got another winnable game at home here, a chance to get some momentum. Then at the same time, you can flip the script here. The Jaguars, not so easy of a schedule after that week 1 game against Houston, which obviously looks like a winnable game, but Trevor Lawrence, first start of his career, we knew there may be some issues. And now the Jags are coming out here with a chance to maybe look at this game saying, hey, let's get some momentum. Let's see if we get Trevor Lawrence going a little bit. My favorite number of this game is actually over 46 because the Bengals offense has showed that it could definitely score, and I'm sure we're going to find some points against this Jaguars defense. But I think this is a game Trevor Lawrence may start his little coming out party into the NFL. I think he has a chance to break out a little here, make some throws, make some plays, do enough to keep it close. I'll use the hook as the big reason why to take the Jaguars here plus 7.5. But I actually think this game may be a little more fun to watch than some people anticipate. So when it's all said and done, I'll take the Jags to cover, Bengals to win. I'll go over the 46, 27-20 Bengals.
Yank, it's Rams at Seattle next Thursday. Just check.
That's how I thought. Yeah, I remember it being something decent,
Yep.
at least. I mean, I feel like anytime this year, if you get an NFC West game, it's going to be fun to watch. We got 2 of them this week, so. All right, let's get into the Sunday games here. First one to start, another tough one to pick, but Atlanta home against Washington. Atlanta 1.5-point dogs at home, over under 48.5. And to be honest, this Atlanta team now, like I said, we're a few games into the season. This Atlanta team, I don't think is much different from the past. They're kind of remind me of their own selves, just without Julio Jones. Their offense looks like, they can score at times. Their defense looks like it'd be a question mark, and you just don't know what to do. When it's all said and done, Chaz knows this best over years that Atlanta's probably going to find a way to screw you in the end. So with that said, this Washington defense has been struggling to start the season. There's still too much talent on it for it to be this bad. I think this is a game where they could kind of force a couple turnovers from Matt Ryan and this offense that's been a little turnover prone to start the season. I think they could force some, kind of really get their season going a little more, get that defense going for the season, I should say. With that said, I got Washington coming on the road here to beat Atlanta, winning the game, covering the 1.5. I'll go 24-20 Washington.
Yeah, so I'm going to stick with the football. I like the football team here as well. I just feel like they have a little more to play for. They win one game, they're 2-2, and they're not really panicking too much. They obviously got smoked by the Bills, but defense bounces back, Gank. I mean, I agree with that. I actually really like the over here, though. I think Taylor Heineke has shown that he can put up some points, especially against Gank's Giants. And I think that Atlanta's offense has started slow, but will pick this up. Like you said, I like a lot of turnovers here, kind of a sloppy game, but I still see some points. And I think the football team finds a way to win this game. I'm going to go 27-24 football team.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I'm bigger on the football team than you guys, and obviously the defense looked terrific last week. Josh Allen got things rolling for Buffalo. I think this is almost a must-win here for Washington against a pretty bad Atlanta team. I know they just beat the Giants, but I'm not going to read too much into that. Coming back home, I think that the Falcons will probably put up some points, but I'm with Adam. I do like this over. I think this is a game, though, that Washington can get Antonio Gibson rolling for the first time this year. He had a crazy long-ass touchdown last week in Buffalo, but that was a reception. I think they got to get him on the ground and go back to their style of football, running the football and playing some solid defense. So if there's a get-right game for Washington, it's probably this one. So I'll take them to win here, go to 2-2, and get back in the thick of it for the NFC East. I'll go same score as AT, Washington 27-24.
I actually don't know if I'd love that we all just went Washington in that one, to be quite honest. Yeah. All right, Adam, here we go. Your Bears, 3-point favorites at home here over Detroit, over under 42. I know I threw my pre-show Justin Fields Jabs before we started recording here. But with that said, before I really start digging into Justin Fields, it was his first career start, and well, wasn't a fun defense to face in the Browns. However, like I said, I don't want to keep twisting it because here comes the Lions, a team maybe gets something going against. If he even gets to start, God knows who the Bears are starting. But with that said, how are we feeling coming back home against Detroit?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was the most like pathetic offensive performance, or at least offensive line performance. And I know not many people watch that game unless you're a Bears Browns fan, but I've literally never seen anything like that where the guy was just running for his life the entire game. And they just kept dropping back, 5-man protection, no running the ball. It was just literally last year all over again with a worse offensive line. That being said, I like the Bears to bounce back here at home just simply because their defense wins them this game. They won the game against the Bengals at home, and I see it happening the same way. The Lions have played well, and they've kept games close. They just lost a heartbreaker, obviously, to Chazzy's Ravens, which is a whole nother story in general. But I think the Bears bounce back this week. I could easily see a push here, but for the show's sake, I will not do that to the boys. That being said, this was the game I wanted Justin Fields to start. I didn't want him to play against the Browns because I thought that would be a similar outcome. It's a good defense, very talented defense against a not very talented offensive line, the Bears. So I think they get back to form. They finally give the ball to Allen Robinson and Montgomery and just make a good decision here and play somewhat well to win a home divisional game. I'll go 20-16 Chicago.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I feel like over the past year or so, I used this Bears defense as a reason to back them up, pick them in a lot of games. And I feel like more times than not, it stung me. I want to do it again today, but this is the day I turn the page here. I'm actually going to take the Lions plus the 3 here. And I'm going to take the Lions to win this game outright. It's nothing against the Bears. I do think their defense is still good, still can slow this up. But this Lions team, I just watch them every week. And yeah, they're 0-3, but I've seen them do more good things than I've seen the Bears do good things this year. And this feels like a game maybe the Lions can string it all together. You know, week 1 looked blown out of the water before. They kind of want to get a spark going. And they jump out against Green Bay before Aaron Rodgers does his thing. And let's be honest, I mean, Adam, you said it's a whole different story. They really should have won that game against Baltimore and didn't. Now you got a Chicago team coming in here with a lot of question marks going on right now, and feels like a game where maybe Detroit can put it all together and get the result they're finally looking for at the end. Stay away game from as a gambler, I think. But with that said, I will take the Lions to win this one late, 20-17.
Yeah, Gank, I'm right there with you. It'll be the same exact score as well. I'm taking the Lions to win. And if there's one golden rule of this show, everyone, it is me and Gank versus Adam. We win. So, AT, that might not be a good sign for you on Sunday.
Not good.
No, I'm right with Gank. I think the Lions are going to win this game. Obviously, I just watched an entire game against the Ravens. We watched them Monday Night Football against the Packers. Before the year, we looked at their team and we said, how are they going to win games? Other than DeAndre Swift and TJ Hawkinson, how are they going to make plays? Jared Goff has played pretty well, and they're just a scrappy team. Dan Campbell has been playing hard, and they've been in every single game. Other than that second half in Green Bay, they kind of collapsed. But other than that, they have been neck and neck with every team that they've played. And like you guys said, they should have beat the Ravens if the Ravens didn't have one of the best kickers of all time on the team. And what I've seen from Chicago on the other end is, nothing too great. Obviously, last week was a tough test in Cleveland. But I think this is a spot for the Lions that they can go on the road and get a win against a team that I don't think is going to put up many points. And like we've seen, Detroit, they can score. So I'm going to take the Lions here to win outright in Chicago. Same score as Gank, Lions 20-17.
Can't make you feel good.
Not in the least. I actually, first of all, I think Matt Nagy might get fired if they lose this game.
I think that's a good possibility too.
Because what he did last week was horrific. But also after this, they go at Vegas, home against the Packers, at Tampa, so they're going to lose the next 3 games for sure. So I'm thinking that maybe this is a must win. This is desperate, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't love that you guys are against me here. So
It doesn't help that they also have all three quarterbacks in play to start.
oh yeah,
Yeah, like what are we doing?
They said Nagy said Nick Foles is in the talk.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
that's just not what we want to hear on a Tuesday.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Just put Joseph Fields out there and don't turn back. Like they're already almost at a point. You got nothing to lose.
Yeah, like let the guy play against a bad defense, you know?
Yeah. All right, Adam, you touched on this for your fantasy matchup. Here comes the key game here. Tennessee heading to MetLife to play the Jets over under 45.5. Tennessee 7.5-point favorites on the road here. Chaz, I know me and you talked a lot about the Jets this year. You know, maybe they can string some things together. I almost feel like the past couple of years we've been on the Jets thinking they have talent there, could string it together, and it's just a matter of time. Obviously, we haven't seen it yet. With that said, though, we all know I'm a big Zach Wilson guy. I still buy into him, and this Tennessee defense I've seen some holes in it over the past year and a half with them. So I do think the Jets, after terrible start offensively the first 3 weeks of the season, when we talk about pre-show averaging just under 7 points a game, I think they have a chance to actually finally put some points on the board. With that said, I don't think it's going to be enough. The hook really scares me in this game because I almost want to take the Jets to cover. I'm not going to do that. I just think the offense finally gets clicking with a lot of questions going on a little bit. Zach Wilson gives himself a pretty decent game. He actually had a decent game against what's looking to be like a very good Carolina pass defense. He has another one here, but the Titans offense just too much for this Jets team to handle, I think, coming into it. Adam, I know you said you want the big game from Derrick Henry. I see the bigger game from Ryan Tannehill. That still helps you. Titans win and cover. Jets finally score some points, though. I'll go 30-21 Titans.
Gang, I mean, I'm right there with you. I have almost the exact same score. I do think that Zach Wilson finds a little bit of success, builds some confidence. He's gone up against 3 hard defenses in New England, Carolina, and then obviously in Denver. Like, you can't get on him. Plus, their offense is just not there yet. But I agree. I think he has a little bit of success. I don't see how the Jets defense can really stop the Titans completely. So I see them scoring points either way. I mean, it's in New York, so I think that really helps them, and Zach Wilson will get some confidence. But the Titans, just their offense seems almost unstoppable at times, unless you have a team like Arizona that just can outscore them like that. So I'm going to take the Titans to win here. I think that they kind of cruise to a victory, but Zach Wilson does have a little bit of success. I'll go 32-20 Tennessee.
Yeah, Gank, I think you hit it, but we've been riding this jet train and just keep losing with them. And I might be in the wrong again here, but I'm going to take the Jets to cover here because of that hook as well. It scares me, and I think everyone in America is going to be on the Titans because we've seen absolutely nothing from the Jets to this point. And AT just said it. The 3 defenses they played against in Carolina, who we have now seen is a very good defense, in New England, who is a Bill Belichick-led defense, pretty good, and then in Denver. So this is by far the easiest defense that Zach Wilson's faced. They also get Atlanta next week, so I think these next 2 weeks will be a big sign for Zach Wilson. Hopefully boost some confidence. But I think at home here against a Tennessee team that might be without A.J. Brown, I think that they'll be able to keep it close. I'm not saying they're going to win the game, but if it is the Tennessee offense with no A.J. Brown, they're probably going to run it more than, throw it, bleed the clock, and whether it's a backdoor cover, the 7.5 number just scares me a little bit. So I'll take the Titans to win 27-20. Hopefully Derrick Henry doesn't go too crazy.
Hey, Corey Davis against a former squad, too. They have a big game against Carolina. Maybe you have another one this week.
Sure.
All right. This is where we get to the list of where the games get interesting. I think even tough to pick right here. We're going to start off with Cleveland and Minnesota. Cleveland 2.5-point favorites on the road. Over under 51.5. Jazz, Ravens and Browns look like 2 legit Super Bowl contenders out of the same division coming here. How are we feeling about this game this week?
Yeah, I think the Browns are like you said, a legit Super Bowl contender. Adam talked about it pre-show. Odell looked awesome. This Sunday, he kind of looked like his old self coming off his ACL injury. And flip it to the other side with the Vikings. Me and Gank were on him last week. AT told us to stop locking the Vikings, and they did it for us. But I mean, the Vikings defense is just really, really bad. And Kirk Cousins is playing really well so far this year. Got to give him credit. That offense is putting up a lot of points. Madison came in last week and filled the void for Dalvin Cook right away. But I think this is going to be a tough test for him going against a Cleveland defense that we just saw just annihilate the Bears offensive line and Justin Fields. So I'm going to trust the Browns defense more than the Vikings defense here. I expect a big game from Nick Chubb, but with that being said, I'll take the Browns to win and cover here barely, but I think the Browns are a better team here with a better defense. So I'll take them 27-24.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta give the Vikings some credit. To be fair to them, they easily could be 3-0. So you got to give them credit there. Kirk Cousins has played great. I don't know if they've played great defenses yet, but I mean, the Cardinals D, you don't really know. The jury's still a little bit out there, I think, if it is a great defense or not. But offensively, they're clicking, and that's going to keep them in a lot of games. And say what you want about the defense, I will admit I thought they'd get crushed by the Seahawks, but Russ didn't have that great of a day, so you got to give credit where credit is due there. That being said, I'm right there with you, Chaz. I think this is a close game and a good one. But I saw how good Cleveland's defense looked, albeit against a bad Bears offense. And I think they're going to continue to do that. I don't know if Kirk Cousins is good enough to beat this good defense. That's why I think when it comes down to it, the Browns squeak this one out. They're riding a big victory. And I think Baker has a pretty big day, and that Browns offense does a lot of points. Not surprising here. I'll go 30-27 Cleveland.
All right, I'm the right solo here then. I'll be the one that does it. But I said last week, I still don't know how much I fully buy into Cleveland. Their defense is obviously no joke, Adam. You unfortunately had to see that firsthand last week, but we learned that defense is clearly no joke. But I'm still going to stick to my guns where I don't know how much. It's the same story I gave last week when they played the Bears and obviously backfired. But I'm still going to give a similar story where I don't know how much I trust Baker to beat me if the game's in his hands. Adam, as you said, don't really know much about the Vikings defense yet. What we do know, based off what we've seen, especially last year, even coming this year, usually the easiest way to beat the Vikings defense is through the air, and that's how Cleveland's going to do it. I still don't fully trust Baker to do that. Maybe Odell is returning to his old self a little, and that'll definitely make it easier for him. But Vikings I picked them to make the playoffs before the season. It was kind of my second team thrown in there. And I do like what I've seen from them. Chaz, you hit it. Kirk Cousins actually looks pretty good to start this season. Going to be tough against this defense, but this offense seems to be clicking, seems to be rolling. They throw the ball well. They've always been able to run the ball well. And, they're pretty balanced, and they might be able to keep that Cleveland defense off balance a bit. So I don't know if I'll actually touch this game, put my actual money on it, but I'm going to take the Vikings to win this one at home in a game that's going to have a little more points than I guess the over-under 51.5, pretty high with the Browns defense, but I got the Vikings 30-27. Oh, Adam, you're fish. You want to talk about two teams that we really don't know what to expect here. Colts 2.5-point road dogs here heading to Miami, over under 43.5. Adam, we're getting Brissett again. And these Fins fought against Vegas last week, and they get the job done at home this week.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the Fins, I believe I saw, are 2-1 against the spread this year. So, they're still recovering like they used to. You know what, man? I've stuck with the Colts, and I think that this is the most desperate they're going to be all year. They have looked horrific. Don't get me wrong. But I look at this game and I kind of think with the points, the Colts know they have to win this game. Fins played the Raiders really well. But I'm just seeing this game as one of those things where the Colts put it together a little bit and they get a game that they have to win. I wouldn't touch this game. I think it's a stay away for me. But I will take the Colts to win here. I think Carson Wentz gets on track a little bit and the Colts defense shows up. Credit to Brissett last week. He played well. But I think that was a little bit about lightning in the bottle. I think the Colts know they have to win this game and they get the job done. So I'll take them by a field goal here. But I'd stay away from me. I'll go 24-21 Indy.
I'm with you with Indy here. Exact same score too. Also, actually, Colts 24-21. But I feel like Indy the past few years has kind of notoriously started season slow, and when it's all said and done, they find themselves in the playoff hunt, if not even just in the playoffs in general. And you said I think Indy's a little more desperate here. If once gets out there, I think he has a chance to get decent game going here. This is a winnable game with Jacoby Brissett starting for Miami. I think Indy knows that. I still like the pieces they have on that Colts defense to definitely slow down. Brissett really make it a tough challenge for him, to say the least. And with that said, I just like this matchup for Indy. I mean, it's tough on the road when you look at this game preseason, but the injuries in Miami and everything, I think they're kind of getting them at the right time, and I think they have a good chance to win this game. So I'll take the Colts to pull it out on the road. Same score, 24-21.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys on Indy. Point off on the score. I'm going to go 23-20. But a lot of the same reasons you guys said, I think it is a must win. I think it's the most desperate they'll be. I think when you looked at this Colts team before the season, there's no way you would have said they would start 0-4. And going to Miami with obviously no Tua, they're playing a quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, who was also on the Colts the last few years. So if there's a defense that's going to know how to play him, it's going to be this Indy defense. So I don't think that bodes well for Miami. And I also think Jonathan Taylor needs 25 carries this game against Miami. So I think they're going to pull out a win here. Miami is not very good. They just somehow had the backdoor cover last week to fuck over Adam and a lot of people. But when it's all said and done, I'll take the Colts to go on the road here and get their first win. Not same score as you guys, similar, 23-20.
Wow. I feel like we don't usually have same pick, same score, too.
Yeah, that would have been something, actually.
Yeah.
All right, big game in the NFC here. Carolina traveling to Dallas. Dallas 4.5-point favorites at home. Over under is 50.5. I'll say this. I mean, I've been big on Dallas almost ever since me and Chaz started this show, 4 years ago now and everything. And as this year is going, I'm starting to buy into them more and more. And I'm going to take them to win this game at home. I'll probably take them to cover the 4.5. That hook scares me. This Panthers defense has shown it's pretty good, but it's all said and done. This Dallas offense is almost as top of the league as you could get. I don't know if I'd take any other offense other than Kansas City over them, honestly, right now. I mean, Dak Prescott is looking like he can put together almost an MVP caliber season, and they were able to run the ball pretty well. We saw that last night. They get the run game going. This offense is going to be real scary. I think it's going to be a lot for this Carolina defense to handle. And at the same time, I know this Carolina defense has looked great. But when you look at the opponents, I mean, you got David Mills making his first career start last week. They played Zach Wilson making his first career start in week 1. And you got Jameis, right in the middle there, who we know can be a roller coaster. I do think the defense is good, but this is really the first true tester they get. And Dallas is to pick them apart. Give me the Cowboys winning this outright. I'm going to pick them to cover. I'll go 31-24.
Yeah, again, I actually agree with a lot of what you said. I don't know if they're going to run the ball with as much success they did, because I'm not sure if they really could, like 2 weeks in a row. But I think this is the week the Panthers lose. I don't see them going 4-0. Big win. They beat a few kind of not great teams. But Dallas looks good, man. And if their defense can force few turnovers, Dan Quinn's a fantastic defensive coach. We've seen that for years. If their defense can force like 2 turnovers a game, Trayvon Diggs has a pick in I think he has 4 interceptions in 3 games or something like that, or a pick in every game. I like the way Dallas is playing right now. They're riding a high streak. I think that them being at home in this game is huge, because offensively, if they're playing at home, I'm not sure they're not going to put up at least 30 points in every game. Dak gets right here at a good get right game last week, but I think he really has success against the Panthers, who just lost their first round pick, J.C. Horn, for might be the year, if not a very long.
They said, I think it's going to be the year, but I think it would be, you still got at least 2 months or so if it's not the year, I think. But
Yeah, I think that hurts them a lot here. And the Panthers just have one bad game, but they're not a bad team and they win in the future. But this one they drop. I'll take Dallas a little bit easily here. I'll take them 31-20.
All right, I'll be the lone man on the Panthers. I'll take him to cover. I'm not going to take him to win here. Obviously, the J.C. Horn injury is massive. They also just lost Christian McCaffrey. So injuries are definitely going to be hurting them. But obviously Carolina's defense has played great. Gank made a good point too. I mean, Zach Wilson and David Mills and Jameis, the three quarterbacks that they played, obviously aren't too great. But I mean, their defense has been awesome. Dallas's offense has looked fantastic, and their defense looked pretty damn good yesterday too. Granted, it was the Birds, but if they can play like that, they're going to be really hard to beat. But my biggest thing here is Sam Darnold has also looked very good this year. He is kind of looking like the quarterback that we kind of thought he was coming out of USC. And now with the fresh start, him and DJ Moore have got a connection going that fantasy managers, a few of David or DJ Moore have been loving. But I expect Sam Darnold to keep this game close with his arm. Maybe this is the Robbie Anderson breakout game with Diggs on DJ Moore. But with that being said, I think the Cowboys win it here. But I feel like there might be an overreaction with the betting after watching them just dominate the Birds with CMC out. This is kind of just a Vegas thing with me picking Carolina to cover here. But I'll take Cowboys 27-24.
I mean, I could have used the Robbie Anderson breakout last Thursday. I had 120 clams on it. I didn't even need a breakout either. I needed like 50 fucking yards from the guy.
He's only got like 6 targets. Like I looked at, he just has that one touchdown in that first game.
Yeah. You almost, I mean, like DJ Moore's playing, you obviously keep firing him the fucking ball, but that's asking a lot too, I guess.
Yeah.
I think the total for his receiving yards is 46.5. I took it at. It wasn't even close. All right.
Like 10.
What's that?
That he had like 10.
He had like no points.
Yeah, I think he had one catch the whole game, and I think it was less than 10 yards. All right, here come the Giants. 7.5 point road dogs. And where's this game being played? Does anybody know?
Oh, it's back in the dome.
In New Orleans.
They're back in the dome. Good.
Oh yeah.
First time.
Good.
But
So in New Orleans here, Saints 7.5 point favorites at home, over under 43.5 in this one. And I mean, I am honestly not going to take the Giants to win this game. No, look at the hook, and I'm going to take that. I'm going to take them to cover. No, as bad as the Giants have looked, the Giants do some good things. They'll do something good one game, not the next, and then there's up and down. But when it's all said and done, the quiet stat about this Giant team is their last 10 games as road dogs are 9-1 against the spread. Like, they're going to come out there and give a fight, and I think they're going to come out here and give a fight in this one. Jameis is turnover prone, kind of similar to what I said about Washington. Maybe the Giants defense could get going, force a couple turnovers. I think they can force a couple picks out of Jameis in this one. However, I just don't see how it's going to be enough. That crowd's going to be fired up in New Orleans. They're going to do something to find a way to win this game. Saints win, Giants cover 24-20.
Dude, so the Saints defense is the first, or I think in most leagues, number one fantasy defense. I think they're legit. And at home, first game, I don't know how the Giants put up many points. I see why this over-under is 43.5. Giants defense come to play. They usually do come to play. The hook does scare me. I could very easily see a backdoor cover by the G-men here, but I'm going to take the Saints to win and cover. I'm not going to think too much into this. The Giants just lost a heartbreaker to Atlanta. And I think they're going to be hungover from that loss. And the Saints, I've said it all year, they are a good team. Maybe the boys will believe me at some point. But at home, I can't wait to see Jameis's debut. And I think he's going to love it. I think he's loving New Orleans. The G-men just, I don't know, gang. I don't know what to make of that team because I don't know how you could lose that game when it's such a desperate game to win. But, I mean, I guess their offense just couldn't get much going. I didn't really watch much of it, but I'm sure it was tough to bear as a fan because it was as a Bears fan watching the Browns beat them. So I'll take the Saints to win. I think the Giants offense really struggles, and I'll go 24-14 New Orleans.
All right. Well, I'm going with Yank here.
Oh, oh God.
I'm taking the G-Man to cover with the hook. The hook is the reason.
Hook, yeah.
Obviously, I don't think there's any shot in hell the Giants are winning this game. But I still don't 100% buy into the Saints, like you said, AT. I think obviously inconsistent in 3 weeks. They came out week 1 and dominated Green Bay and looked horrible against Carolina and then went into New England and won last week. So you still don't know what you're getting. My biggest thing with the Giants, obviously, a horrible loss last week at home against Atlanta, but they're going to probably keep the game close. And their defense, we've said it, has the players to do it. Jameis, we'll see with the turnovers. I think my biggest thing here is the hook. The Saints going back home is scary, but just because of the uncertainty behind the Saints, I would be scared to take them with that big of a spread, even with the Giants coming to town. Giants are 0-3. They're obviously going to come out ready to play off a bad loss. I don't think it'll be enough, but I think they keep it close. So I'll take the Saints 24-17.
I mean, it just feels like a game. Just the last day of matchup, it feels like a game where I think Jameis is going to make a couple turnovers, and the Giants are actually going to have a lead in the fourth quarter, and they will do what they've been doing the past couple of weeks and find a way to lose it. I almost want to guarantee that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Saints team is really, really good, dude.
Who they play week 2 again?
They lost to Carolina.
Yes.
And Jameis threw like 4 or 5 picks. So, I mean,
I just don't get how they're good. They were one of the worst defenses in the league last year, and they didn't gain anything.
They lost.
Well, they have the number 1 fantasy defense because of a fluke week 1 game from Aaron Rodgers, too.
Well, they just scored. They had a defensive touchdown last week, too.
Well, Johnny Smith.
Yeah.
This is football, so. You just like hear Malcolm Jenkins take it.
All right, listen, Saints. Yeah. Listen, I'm on the Saints train. I've been on it before the season. Yeah. This is the main argument all year.
Okay. And then what? They had a defensive touchdown against a Patriot team that, to be honest, another offense that has sucked the past 20 games we've watched from them.
And they're
playing. I'm not saying the
Giants'
offense is good, but I'm just saying the Giants defense forced turnovers. 9-1 against the spread last 10 games as road dogs. They'll keep it close, but I'm guaranteeing a fourth quarter lead at some point for the Giants, and they're going to find a way to blow it.
I'm almost okay with that, just so the Giants fans get upset.
It seems so right. All right, here's the game we talked about pre-show also. Kansas City in Philadelphia here. Philadelphia 7.5-point home dogs, over under 50.5. I got to stop knocking my knee into my fucking desk here and knocking my phone over. All right, like I said, we talked pre-show about this one. Philly getting Kansas City at a real bad time here. I mean, Philly, they came out week 1. They beat up on Atlanta pretty good. And we see what we see from Atlanta now, a couple more weeks into the season. How good is Atlanta anyway? How much is that win? And Philly's starting to look like the team I expected them to be all season long, and that's just not good at all. No, they come out week 2 against San Fran, actually build the lead, but from the second half on in that game, it's just been all bad. Essentially at halftime last night, I'm pretty sure through 6 quarters of football, they had 18 points, and 7 of them was because the ball happened to fall in Fletcher Cox's hand in the first quarter of that game, and Kansas City off 2 losses. This is going to be too much for the Eagles. Dallas offense got whatever they wanted against that defense. I can only imagine what the Chiefs offenses they do against this defense. I got the Chiefs big. And for the first time all year, I think I have a team scoring 40-plus points. Give me the Chiefs 42-20.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about pre-show. I don't think I need to add too much here. I'm surprised it's only 7.5. I know people think, the Eagles, all the money's on the Chiefs, blah, blah. I think the Chiefs are going to come out extremely upset because they're obviously pissed off. And I will say the Chiefs, listen, they should have beat the Ravens if CAH doesn't fumble, and they just keep throwing picks and fumbling the ball. They could easily be 3-0 if they just would have, taken care of business. I think they get back on track this week. The Eagles defense doesn't scare me. Like you said, gang, Cowboys got everything they wanted out of that game on Monday night. And I don't see how their defense can stop the Chiefs. So I actually still like the over even at 54.5. But I think the Eagles put up some points because Chiefs defense isn't that good, but I like the Chiefs to win and cover easily. I'll go 38-21.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. And it's interesting because the Birds plus 7.5 is like minus 115 and KC minus 7.5 is minus 105. So people are obviously going on the Eagles. And I didn't know this, but the Chiefs are 1-11 and 1 against the spread in their last 13 games. So that is kind of crazy to think about, a team that we always expect to win. They just really don't cover. Obviously lost last week at home. I think this is just a horrible spot for the Birds. They just got absolutely humiliated on national television last night and now come home with the Chief team coming off 2 losses. And I mean, like Adam said, I don't think there's any chance in hell that the Chiefs lose this game. And I just think they're going to score way too many points that the Eagles can keep up. The Eagles last 2 weeks have looked like the team that we all picked to go under 6 wins this year. So I don't think this is a week that they get a win. But I'll take the Chiefs to win and cover 34-24.
I have to win. Chad, you're all right though. Chiefs suck at covering the spread, even with all the wins they have. And that's probably. I know I picked first. I'm going to tell you right now, it's probably the one thing that actually prevents me from locking them in. So that pick will likely be open going on you guys, second and third if you want it. But
very intriguing at 3.
Yeah, it may fall to you there. It's almost it. All right. Next game here, which I think is the biggest spread of the season so far, coming into week 4 here. Buffalo Bills, 60.5-point favorites at home against the Texans. Over under 48. No, usually when there's spreads this big, hard to kind of pick out some things and touch on. With that said, I will take the Bills to win. I hate laying this many points in football. This is why I'll never bet it, but I'll also take them to cover. Josh Allen kind of had a little season breakout game last week against Washington. Maybe that's exactly what we needed, get this team rolling. And why not keep it going against Houston here? I don't have much. Like I said, if I do bet these games, I usually take a team plus 16.5. I usually never lay this 16.5. So I actually won't put my money on it, but I'll take the Bills to win and cover here. I'll go 34-13.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to spend too much on this either, gang. I'm going to take the Bills to win and cover here too. I feel like the Bills take care of business against bad teams and bad defenses. Houston got their win week 1. They played well, but without Tyrod, I don't think they have much juice because he was kind of holding them together. And, Chazzy loves Tyrod and he was dead right about him. The Texans have covered, but he's kind of the heart and soul of that team. So, I think the Bills are getting hot. Their offense is going to get back to being almost unstoppable. And the Texans aren't doing it. So I'll take a similar score to you. I'll go 35-17 Buffalo.
Yeah, let's keep it short. I'm with you guys, and this is weird for me. I'm like Gank. Anything I say it every show. Everything over 10.5, I don't like to lay. But I think the Bills and Josh Allen got things rolling last week, and David Mills and the Texans they couldn't score at home against Carolina. I don't think things are going to get any easier here for them. In Buffalo. So I'll take Buffalo 35-14, but I'll not be betting this game.
Yeah. Those big spreads are tough. All right, here's where we get fun. I don't know if you guys really, Chaz and I talked about in the group chat, but these 4:00 games this week are all pretty fun, I think. A couple NFC West battles to start. We'll go to LA with the Rams first. Rams 4.5-point favorites at home against Arizona here. High over under 54.5. And I'm going to take the Rams here to start. Like I said, the Rams are slowly becoming one of my favorite teams to watch in football, and I think one of the best teams in football. you know how we do. We'll make our preseason Super Bowl predictions. We all tend to stick with them and ride with them, and I'll continue to stick with Green Bay and Baltimore for mine. But the Rams are even more better than I thought they would be coming to this season. They're starting to impress me. I think they're going to win this game at home and cover. Kyler is the current MVP favorite, as he should be the way he's playing. He's playing at an unbelievable level, but I think this Rams defense is going to give him a little test here and let him know that he's going to step down a little here. This defense is playing very well. Matt Stafford, I'll keep saying every week, is a better fit than I think anyone could even imagine, even though most people like the fit. And with that said, when 54.5 and Kyler Murray's in the game, think over easy, but against this Rams defense, and I know the Rams can score points, I'm actually seeing under here. This is a massive divisional game early in the season. These defenses have come out fired up, ready to play. Both these offenses are firepower, but I think this game gets slowed down a little bit because of how big it is this early in the season. And give me the Rams defense to make the play late and win this game 27-20.
Yeah, gang. So, I mean, I don't know when the last time I didn't pick the Rams to cover was, but I'm on the cards to cover. I like the Rams to win. I just think the difference here is the 4.5 points. I saw a stat today that Sean McVay, I believe, is 8-0 against the Cardinals since he started with the Rams. And I hate Cliff Kingsbury just as much as the next guy, although I got to give some credit this year. But that being said, I see this as a closer game than 7 points. I think Arizona's legit. And I think they go out there and have something to prove. If it was a smaller spread, I would take the Rams to take it. But I feel like this is a field goal game. I think the Rams are going to win, but the Cardinals find a way to cover this with the 4.5. I'm excited to watch this game, but I like the under as well with you. I'll go 27-24 Rams.
Yeah, I'm with Adam here on the cards. Obviously, I was big on them before the year, and it's probably a gift that they're 3-0 at this point. But I think this is going to be a crazy good game. And like Gank said, anytime NFC West, there's an NFC West game this year, it's going to be fun to watch. We talked about Kyler and how electric he's been. I think they've missed 2 overs this year by a total of 3 points. And both times we had them in our locks. So we might want to learn with that one. But I'm going against you guys on that side. I think points are going to fly in this one, just like last week against Tampa. Because when you look at these two teams, neither team runs the ball. And they're going to score points with the quarterback. Matthew Stafford's going to throw the ball to his receivers, and same thing with Kyler. So I expect both quarterbacks to have huge days, the receivers to have big days. And but at the end of the day, I'll trust the Rams defense to make a play or two at the end. Not a knock on the Cardinals. I still think they're good. I still think that they'll probably make the playoffs at this point. But in LA, I'll give the edge to the Rams. I'll go the Rams 33-30.
Jazzy, Cooper Kupp have another big day?
Yes, sir.
Love that.
I'll take it. I got him, Yahoo.
All right, that boy.
I mean, it's almost automatic.
Guy's unbelievable.
I mean, him and Stafford just have that connection.
Bro, he's always open.
I know.
The man is always – it's the scheme. I mean, the scheme obviously is – he's always open.
Yeah, just simply there. I'm sure he'll keep it going. All right, and like we said, the NFC West game's got another one right here followed up. Seahawks in San Fran. Seahawks, 3-point road dogs here. Over under 52.5. I'm going to take Seattle to actually bounce back this week. I'm going to take them and win this game outright. Something about San Fran, this team, I am still not fully sold on. I mean, we knew last year, coming into last season after their Super Bowl run against the Chiefs, I was never big on them. We never really got to fully tell because the way injuries hit that team, we never know. But they are coming out this year. We know their defense still has a lot of talent. They can make plays. Just the whole offense and whatever they're doing with Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo and this and that. I just don't know if I trust it yet. I think San Fran needs to actually throw Trey Lance in there and let him ride. With that said, give me Seattle, give me Russell Wilson to get back on track here. I think he could do a little bit more than what San Fran's offense is going to do, and I think it'll be enough for him to win the game. Like the Cardinals-Rams game, it's going to be a fun football game to watch. I'll take the Seahawks 28-24.
Yeah, gang, I'm with you, man. I don't know how many games we've disagreed on, but I don't know if it's too many. I think the Seahawks bounce back and win this game. Really, I'm looking at it, and when NFC West games, like I did with the Cardinals, I like to take the points. And also, I feel like this game specifically has just been absurd the past few years with like one of the walk-off TDs for the division, and then somebody gets stopped at the one. So somebody missed a field goal. So I don't, I'm going to take Seattle with the points. They're the type of team that loses at home to the Vikings, comes out the next week, goes in San Fran and wins. And I think Russ just makes one more play like he has in the past than Jimmy G does to win this game. I would almost bet it's a walk-off field goal from Seattle, but I'll take him to win. I like the points. I'll go 30-27 Seattle.
Yeah, we're all rocking with the Russ here in Seattle. And I think obviously last week I locked against them to lose 2 straight, which was kind of bold, but I can't see them going here and losing 3 straight. I wasn't big on the Niners to begin the year. I know I took their under on the wins. And I just don't see them at home. I'm just not a believer in the Niners. I think that's what it comes down to. And I think that Seattle is much better than how they've played the last 2 weeks. I'll trust Russ to go on the road here and get a much needed win for them to stay in the thick of things in that division. I mean, if they lose this and go to 1-3, it's going to be really tough to climb those leaderboards back in the NFC West. So I'll take Russ here to get the win and get back on track, 31-27.
All right, Chaz. Here comes a big one for your Ravens here on the road in Denver. Denver 1-point favorite at home. We know it's tough going into Denver and winning over under 44.5. Chaz and Ravens be the first team to knock off Denver.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty surprised when I saw this line. I don't get me wrong. Denver being 3-0 is great. Their defense is good, but their opponents are 0-9. They've played the Jets, the Jaguars, and the Giants, probably the 3 worst teams in the NFL. So this is going to be a test. Obviously, the Ravens, I mean, they almost lost to the Lions last week. If it wasn't, like I said, thanks to Justin Tucker, but also the game would have been way different if Marquise Brown could just catch the fucking football. But don't get me started on that. But in this game, I think I'm just going to trust Lamar Jackson to win this game. I think the Broncos are a good team. I don't think they're a great team. And with what the Ravens have in their sights of this season and obviously going deep into the playoffs, I think this is a game you have to go and win against a team. Like I said, good defense. The Ravens defense is banged up, but I will say this, Ravens had Jimmy Smith back last week and it made a massive difference. He locked down TJ Hawkinson. So obviously him being back is massive. Broncos just lost another receiver in KJ Hamler for the year. So I'm going to take the Ravens to win. I don't think it's me being a Ravens fan and a homer here. Broncos 3-0 against 3 bad teams. I'll make them prove it. So I'll go Ravens 24-20.
Yeah, I mean, I had the same reaction. I saw this line that the Ravens are dogs. Obviously, it's only 1 point. I mean, Chaz, you pretty much talked about everything I was thinking. Denver's beating bad teams, and I think they will continue to do that. But Lamar and Gank, I mean, I know you said you're taking the Super Bowl, so I don't know if you're still that much of a hater. But the guy converted a 4th and 19, I think it was, last week. Not to mention he got that 4th and 1 against the Chiefs. So I'm hoping that his big time can't play narrative is eventually is gone. I love Lamar. I've been a fan. I think it's unfair the criticism he got getting compared to Pat Mahomes, and I think he's the difference in this game. Denver, I love him. I've talked him up, but it's time for them to lose. I don't see him going 4-0 against this really good Baltimore team who, yeah, they just squeaked by the Lions, but had Marquise Brown caught a couple touchdown passes in his breadbasket, completely different game. So I'm not going to look too much into that. And I officially, like I said, hate Marquise Brown. So at that, I'm going to take the Ravens to win and cover. I got a very similar score to you, Chaz. I think it might have been the same one. I'm going to go 24-20 Baltimore.
Welcome to the party with the hatred of Marquise Brown.
Yeah, no, I don't like him. He'll never get drafted by me, that's for sure.
Yeah, Marquise Brown was part of my trade that brought in Clyde for me and that of the league. So that was fun to watch, actually.
Right.
With that said, I'm with you guys. Adam, we all know I'm Team Lamar this year for the first time ever in my life. I still don't think he can throw a football that great, but he seems to have the confidence and feels like he knows what he has to do to win these big games. We saw he finally got his win against the Chiefs last week, 2 weeks ago. Big march down the field late, like you said, out of the 4th and 19 is big. Great to see Lamar do that, something Justin Fields will never be able to do, and we'll see that this week against that same defense. With that said, I'm with the guys. I mean, Chaz, you said it. Look at the Broncos. They played 3 games this year against 3 teams that are combined 0-9. And yeah, the defense looks great, but no, this is their first real test their defense is going to get. And to be honest, even though their offense has been looking pretty decent scoring points, Denver too, this is also the first real test this offense is going to get to against this Baltimore defense. We know Baltimore's defense is banged up, but Denver's offense is even almost more banged up. When it's all said and done, I just think it's not the right matchup for Denver here. I think their offense is really going to struggle. I think that's going to be the difference in this game because I actually do think their defense will contain Lamar a little bit. But I just, when it's all said and done, I mean, both these defenses, I think, can contain each other's offenses, but I'm going to take Baltimore's offense to make the play well before I take Denver's offense to make a play. That's the difference in this one. I'm dropping everything. Give me the Ravens. What's the over under 44.5? I want to go under in this game. Give me the Ravens 21-20.
What's the over under and Gang fucking dropping his phone? It's like the 7th time this show.
Overcash.
Well, here's the thing. I got my laptop up with the lines, and I used to have this little tab that like the wire for my charger would just like fit in perfect and it would stay, but it's all loose around now, so it's like not tight. It keeps falling. So we're gonna turn the phone around.
You get a good matchup with Lamar against Denver. I don't know if he's gonna have that big of a day.
Yeah, I mean, the shitty thing is I'm going to be rooting for him to do well, but bad like fantasy wise. So it's going to be.
It's going to be interesting. That's really a fun game to watch for you, huh?
Oh yeah,
big game. All right, last of the 4 o'clock show. We're getting to the night games here. Pittsburgh heading to Lambeau here. Packers 7-point favorites at home. Over under 45.5. Adam, how do you feel about your division rivals at home this week?
Yeah, this is such a weird game because you don't know what you're getting with the Steelers. I mean, they go into Buffalo and win, which was probably a fluke, and then they lose these games. Big Ben looks really, really old. And I don't like to pick against the Packers at home because even when they did lose this year, it was technically in, New Orleans, but it was in Jacksonville. I could see a push here because the Packers defense hasn't played particularly well, and I think Najee Harris could have a big day running the ball if the Steelers do run the ball. But I'm going to take the Packers to win and cover here. I could see a push, but I'm going to take them to cover. The huge win last week, vintage Aaron Rodgers. I think everybody in the show knew when he got the ball back with 37 seconds left, they were going to go get a field goal to win that game. At least I thought so, because I'd seen a million times as a Bears fan. So I'll take Packers to win and cover here. And I don't know what to make of the Steelers, but I don't think that they're going to get right against the Rodgers after that huge win. So I will go 30-20 Green Bay.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with you. I know you said push, and I almost want to lean the same way this way, but I'm not going to do that. So when it's all said and done, I'll definitely take the Packers to win and cover at home. And it's still making it a tough start for Pittsburgh. But I'm still not completely sold out on Pittsburgh yet. I mean, defense a little banged up to start, finally getting healthy again, could get it all together. And honestly, the biggest question has been Ben and this offense. But I do think Ben can figure it out, even though it's more banged up. Hopefully, Najee Harris can get going a little bit more on the ground. I mean, the guy's on the field every single play and does something. With that said, and you said it, you're a Bears fan, you know it. Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau Field is just too much to handle sometimes in the way the Steelers are playing right now. It seems like that's going to be the case this week too. I'm with you. I actually want to pick the push, but I'll just take the Packers to win. I'll give them a score to cover on 31-21.
I'm going to be with you guys on the Packers to win. Obviously, it'd be huge for the AFC North, but I'm going to take the Steelers to cover the 7. And I mean, they looked bad last week. Big Ben, I mean, he looks really old. And obviously everyone is saying, is he their best option right now? And I think that's a pretty valid question. The dude literally cannot move. So, and their offensive line is pretty damn bad. So it's not a good mix there for their offense. Obviously Deontay Johnson's hurt. Juju got hurt last week. So a big thing is going to be how well their defense can play. And if they can keep him in it, if TJ Watt plays this week, my biggest thing here is the Steelers defense. I don't know if TJ Watt will play, but I think they'll be able to keep it close enough. And I'm not ready to completely sell out on the Steelers. I mean, they've been good literally our entire lives. And the Packers are good. Obviously at home, they're tough to beat, but 7's a lot of points. I'll take Big Ben to keep it close. Pack win though, 23-20.
I need a little more from Aaron Rodgers this week than that, Chaz. A little more.
I mean, if TJ Watt's playing, you might be in a little bit of trouble, Gank, because then the Steelers might actually. Is he going to be back? I thought he was out for a few weeks.
I think there's a decent chance he plays.
Oh, okay.
Because I think he almost played last week.
All right. Sunday night game. Arguably the biggest storyline in the NFL season here. Tom Brady heading back to New England. Buccaneers 7-point favorites on the road, over under 49.5. This game opened up at 5.5 Sunday night, I believe. I got that text I received right, and then when I looked Monday morning, I do believe it was 5.5. With that said, I mean, looking at this game is obviously a huge storyline. Tom Brady coming back to New England, you can't take that away. It's arguably the biggest, return home in all of sports almost ever, something like that. But let's be honest here. Let's look at this football game as a matchup, because that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to throw that whole storyline out the window, because when it's all said and done, the Buccaneers are just flat out a way better team than New England. A lot of people wanted, and the season's still young, still can. A lot of people kind of buying into the Mac Jones thing in New England, saying it can work with this defense and everything. But first 3 weeks of the season right now, I'm not seeing much of a difference from this Patriot team than what I saw last year for them. And this Buccaneer team is just flat out better than that. Tom Brady's going to come back into Foxborough. He's going to get his win easy. The Buccaneers are a better matchup, both sides of the ball, I think, in this one almost. I'll take the Bucs and Brady on the road with ease here. I'll go Tampa Bay 28-13.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the Bucs by a million train right now. Brady coming off a loss, said a pre-show, coming off a loss is the worst possible thing of Patriots. He's going to break the all-time passing record for yards. And I just think he is going to play out of his mind, which I'm really not happy about, because I know that could be the deciding factor in me and Chaz's game. And I'm very concerned. I'll put it that way. But I think 7's kind of a closer line than it should be, especially open up at 5.5. But I do like some points here, because I think the Patriots realize they need to score to keep up with the Bucs. And the Bucs defense is really banged up. So I think Mac Jones has some success. I think he plays well enough, puts up some points. But, man, Brady going home, he's going to get the better Belichick, and I don't think it's going to be too close. So I'm going to take Tampa Bay to win and cover 31-20.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I don't think it's necessarily close here. My biggest thing is the Bucs defense. Their Achilles heel right now is their secondary and how banged up it is. And the Pats don't have the weapons on the outside to really take advantage of that, other than Jacoby Myers. What we've seen from Mac Jones is kind of a dink and dunk offense. He's not really pushing the ball downfield much, and they want to run the ball. Well, running the ball is not really going to work against the Bucs, because their front 7 is still pretty damn good. So I think this is going to be a long day. I think Brady, for my fantasy team, I hope he does. But I think just throwing that out the window, I think he's going to come back and have a huge game against Belichick and the Pats. Obviously, breaking the passing record is just a cherry on top for him. But I expect him to come and take care of business, and I don't think it's really close. I'll go 33-17.
Brady's gonna go off. I'm gonna be
The
watching
only
that.
thing about that game is like obviously it's gonna be Sunday night football because of the storyline, but like I think there's a good chance like it's Sunday night football. Everybody wants this good game, and I think there's a decent chance by halftime everyone's going to bed.
Yeah.
Type of deal.
Oh, there's a few other games that are better this week, but
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but just because of
That-
this storyline.
That game's all storyline.
Yeah.
But hey, I think Monday nights would make up for it though. You got the Chargers at home, 3.5-point favorites against the Raiders here. Over under 52.5. I look at this game, I would say right now, I know I got the Chargers to win. I'm definitely going to take the Raiders to cover with that hook right there at 3.5. But we talked about the Raiders last week. Numerous times this team has started 2-0 before, and then things kind of went downhill. But last week we said there they come out, beat Miami. They almost found a way to blow it, but they still did what we said they would do, and that was win the game. However, I think this will be a little bit of a tougher test here. Adam, we talked pre-show about how the Chargers is not kicking the field goal and throwing the ball for a touchdown late to win the game. The thing I noticed about that, though, is, for the past couple of years, I feel like the Chargers playing in that game, no matter what would have happened, they would have found a way to lose it. For the first time ever recently, they actually found a way to win that game against a damn good Chiefs team, obviously. And this team learning how to win is scary because there's talent on both sides of the ball here. To the point where once you steal a win against the Chiefs, you're a legit threat against them for the division, even come into the season here. So I just like what I'm seeing from the Chargers a little bit more. I think they're better. I think their defense can give Derek Carr some problems here. And I think they're going to find a way to win at home. But nothing against the Raiders at all here. They are also way better than advertised coming into the season, I think, as well. I think this is a fun, close football game. And the Chargers, learning how to win, are going to find a way to win it late. Give me the Chargers to win. Raiders cover, though. I'll go 27-26.
Yeah, this could be a really fun matchup. I mean, Derek Carr is playing out of his mind. That guy knows that offense in and out, and he's really not getting the credit he deserves, to be honest, because that's the reason they're 3-0. He's just played clutch every single game. Yeah, I see where you're at with this hook, and the Raiders. I hate betting the Raiders. Every time I do, I feel like I lock them, and it's just incorrect. But I like the Chargers to win and cover here. I could see it being a 3-point game. I think the Chargers win by a touchdown. The Raiders have played well and got a few big wins. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, they deserve where they're at. But I think the Chargers really start to get high after that Chiefs win. And it's kind of the time you see Herbert come into form, and they kind of don't look back. They could string a few wins in a row. So I like them to win here. Really fun game, but I think that they win. They cover. I love the points here. I'm going to go 30-24 LA.
Yeah, I love the points. I'm with Adam, but when it comes to the spread, I'm with Gank. I think the Raiders cover because of that hook. I think the Raiders, they're kind of flying under the radar a little bit. I mean, they're 3-0. And like you said, AT, Derek Carr is not getting the credit he deserves right now. Obviously, a lot of the talk. I mean, look at that division. You have the 3-0 Broncos, 3-0 Raiders, 2-1 Chargers, and you have the 1-2 Chiefs. Really good division. But my thing is, I think the Chargers, and I said this before the year, that they're going to take a big leap this year. And Justin Herbert, I think we saw flashes last year, and obviously we saw him play really well last year. Now that they've got Mike Williams to be a true number 2 on that offense with Keenan Allen, plus you have Austin Eckler, I mean, their offense is loaded. So I love the points here with AT. The Raiders, though, are gonna be right there too, because they can score points. We've seen every week so far. So because of that hook, I'll take the Raiders to cover it, but I expect the Chargers to definitely take care of business here at home. So I'll take Chargers 31-28.
It's gonna be a fun one.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
Ravens play primetime again next week.
Do they?
I just accidentally scrolled down too much. Sunday night next week is Bills and Chiefs, and then it's Colts Ravens Monday night. Anyways,
Wow,
yeah.
Bills Chiefs, that'll be a fun one.
Oh, that's a game.
Yeah, that's a game.
We didn't disagree on much. I know there was a couple.
Where the hell? Well, we disagreed on Lions Bears. That I remember.
Yeah, Lions, Bears. I think you had the Cardinals to cover,
Yep.
and you had the Chargers to cover.
We disagreed on Giants Saints. I don't know if you want to bet that, but
See, I'll take the Giants plus 7.5 again.
hold on now. Hold on. What are our other options?
Giants plus 7.5 is a possible lock for me right now, but I don't think I'm going to do it.
So we could either do Raiders, Chargers, which you disagreed on. Saints, Giants. I really don't want to do the Saints, Giants because that hook. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Or here's Chargers. I think Cardinals, Rams.
Now we both had cards, didn't we?
No, I had
Oh,
the
you
Rams.
have the
Travis
Rams?
had the cards. I laid the points with the Rams.
Oh, I hate betting against the Rams. All right, what are we betting here? What are we doing?
Do you take
not-
the Panthers?
No, I take the Cowboys.
I'm sorry, I thought Travis took the Panthers. Right?
I'm not giving you Giants plus 7.5.
Tell you right now, there's one other one we disagree on, but I'm not taking. And that was the Vikings plus 2.5 at home against Cleveland.
I mean, we don't have to bet that one, yeah, if you don't want it.
Want to get a Raiders Chargers on Monday?
Yeah, all right, that'll be a fun one to bet. I'll take that.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
that's
that's a
the
fun game.
closest we got.
Yeah, I'm with that.
We're gonna cover Raiders, huh?
Gives me a little juice.
All right, let's get to the locks now. 11, 15, and 1 on the season. Like I said, we know we're slow starters, but it's actually slowly starting to climb after week 1 here. I'll be first. Chaz, you're second this week. Adam, you're third. I'm going right off the bat. I'm going to take Indy plus 2.5.
God damn it.
I think they win that game outright. I'm actually extremely confident they win that game outright. I will be taking that and definitely sprinkling that money line there too. Second, I'm going to let you guys know right now I'm going 3 dogs here too. Second, I'm going to go to a game we all agreed on, I believe, too. I'm going to take Seattle plus 3 in San Francisco. I think Russell Wilson bounces back this week, gets the win. And I think even worse comes from worse. If it loses, hopefully it's only by a push, not too bad. And last but not least, another one we all agree with, they take the team that I have going to the Super Bowl this year, and that's Baltimore getting a point on the road in Denver.
Damn it, gang. I thought that one might fall through. I guess that was crazy.
Well, I don't lock. I usually don't lock.
Yeah, because Chaz does like to bet the Ravens.
I was gonna stay away from that.
Yeah.
Fuck, I really wanted that Colts one, gang. All right, now I gotta look around. All right, my first one is me and gang for AT. I'm gonna take the Lions plus 3.
There it is.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. The fucking Bears are terrible. So
Second, I will take. I'm gonna take the Chiefs minus 7.5.
no,
Although they're horrific against the spread, I
feel due then.
they feel due.
yeah.
All right, and then my third one, I'm going to take. Whoa, man! I'm gonna go bold here. I'm gonna back Gonzo and lock in the Jags plus 7.5.
Wow.
Wow.
I did not expect that. I don't hate it.
I
though.
was not ready for that.
Let's get crazy.
don't
Gonzo's
hate
too.
All right. Well, first of all, Tom Brady. If you need to get back on track, you bet with Tom Brady. So give me Bucks minus 7. I think Gang's completely right. That game shouldn't be at even a night game. It's just because the storyline. I'm gonna take that one. I'm also gonna take the over in Chiefs Eagles 54.5. I know it's a high over, but I think the Eagles get a lot of garbage time, and the Chiefs are gonna put up 30, 35 like they always do. And I am actually going to go with another over. I'm going to do over 52.5 Chargers Raiders. So we got a lot to watch for that game.
52.5.
Yeah, it's 52.5.
2 overs. Love it. Let me go back on my picks. I think I've been going too many favorites.
Backtracking.
Actually, no. I went 2 dogs last week and they both hit. And then the week before, I went 2 favorites that lost and a dog that covered. So, yeah, dogs.
How many dogs you take? You went 3 dogs this weekend?
I went all 3 dogs this week. Technically,
I got 2 dogs.
I don't have many points in either of the games since Baltimore +1, Seattle +3, and Indy +2.5. But we're all dogs.
Yeah, you guys took 5 dogs, right? Yeah, that didn't leave me many options. Yeah.
I'm still shocked I heard Jacksonville, but kind of love it.
You know, I don't hate it just because
That's Gonzo.
he's due, man.
Yeah, he's got to get a win.
Yeah,
He's got to get a win.
he ain't going 0-3.
I was waiting for one to take Washington, honestly. I thought Chaz for sure was going there.
I wanted to, but the Falcons fucked me over so many times.
That's fair, too. Fair, too. All right, boys. Well, till next week. Got better Sunday night game, at least.
Yeah.
Giants, Cowboys next week. Yikes. All right. All right, boys. Let's get winning, Adam.
That's on me.
Get
I'll
better
bounce
than
back.
Winter. Hey, we'll be all right.
We will.